Down 17, on enemy turf. The noise was deafening, the lights blinding, and the pressure suffocating. Most teams crumble under that. Most coaches shout. Most sidelines implode. But not this time. Not Alabama. Not under Kalen DeBoer. Norman, Oklahoma was dressed for a party. Crimson and cream flooded the stadium. Fireworks exploded. And when the scoreboard read 17-0 in favor of the Sooners, fans could already feel the semifinal ticket printing itself. Alabama was quiet, outplayed, cornered, maybe even exposed. But then something strange happened. There were no tantrums on the Alabama sideline, no frantic headset chatter, no desperate finger-pointing. Cameras scanned DeBoer's face, expecting frustration. They found calm. In the middle of chaos, the man tasked with guiding this new era of Alabama football stood still, poised, almost as if he knew. And maybe he did. Because what no one saw, not from the press box, not from the crowd, not even from the camera drones buzzing overhead, was the shift. Not in plays, not in stats, but in spirit. Inside the huddle, there was no talk of panic, just belief. Cold, unshakable belief. "We're fine," DeBoer was heard saying, not screaming, as the quarter ticked down. "Stay the course." The staff didn't overcorrect. The players didn't melt. There was no magic halftime speech, no viral sideline blow-up, only a shared decision: we fight. And that's when the story began to twist. See, Alabama didn't storm back with flash or trick plays. They didn't unleash some secret weapon. They just kept going, slowly, methodically, with the kind of grit that doesn't trend on social media, but wins football games. It's easy to point to the pick six, the special teams plays, or the late game decisions. But make no mistake, the comeback didn't start on the field. It started long before that. In the culture, in the tone, in the quiet moments where belief either holds or breaks. That night in Oklahoma, belief held, and something deeper was at work. A message had been seeded early in the week, a mindset reinforced in the locker room, words whispered in walkthroughs. A new era of Alabama wasn't just surviving, it was forming. But what exactly sparked that belief? What did DeBoer really say? And why did it echo so deeply through the veins of that team? We'll get to that. But first, let's rewind the tape. For years, Alabama's road record told a story of dominance. Until it didn't. In the twilight of the Saban era, something cracked. Too many games slipped through their fingers the moment adversity struck early. In hostile stadiums, confidence gave way to chaos. That was the memory Oklahoma fans clung to as they jumped to a 17-0 lead. This wasn't just about today. This was history echoing through the bleachers. But this 2025 Alabama team? Different. They didn't flinch. And that's what shocked even veteran analysts. There was a structure to their stillness, a rhythm to their resistance. As the crowd roared, the Crimson Tide got quieter, more focused. Behind the scenes, Ryan Grubb and Kane Wommack had been preparing them for this exact storm. Practices had emphasized chaos drills, broken play scenarios, and most of all, composure. "You don't fake calm," Grubb had said earlier in the week. "You train for it." And when that pick six came late in the second quarter, flipping the game from doom to breath, no one on the sideline blinked. That play will live in highlight reels. But the turning point came even earlier. It came when DeBoer made a decision most coaches would second guess. 4th and 6, field goal range, down 4, second half, and he chose the points. Analysts gasped. The fan base split online. But DeBoer knew, make it a 2-score game. Force Oklahoma to chase, shift the pressure. And here's the hidden truth. He trusted his kicker more than the crowd's fear. That single choice cemented something inside the team, that the staff wasn't chasing miracles. They were engineering a win. Meanwhile, Oklahoma, slowly, invisibly, began to crack. The punter's meltdown wasn't a fluke. It was a symptom. Players tightened. Play calls got cautious. The sidelines went from swagger to static, all while Alabama stayed surgical. And Ryan Grubb? He'd seen it coming. Cameras caught him leaning into a headset after the second score. They're folding. We stay patient. We own this. That's the difference between teams that hope and teams that know. This Alabama team wasn't playing from behind. They were walking down a plan, each play a piece, each decision a message. And beneath it all, something unspoken was guiding the tide. Something DeBoer had planted, not in strategy sheets, but in their minds. But what was it? What exactly did he whisper to them before it all turned? We'll talk about that, but not before you see the moment that sealed everything. You can't score a 17-point touchdown. That's what Kalen DeBoer told his players again and again as the noise swallowed the stadium and the deficit loomed like a storm cloud. No dramatic speech, no magic formula, just that one sentence. Quiet, firm, unshakable. And that's how Alabama flipped the narrative. They didn't win because they were faster or flashier or louder. They won because they believed longer. Because when the scoreboard screamed collapse, they heard something else. They heard his voice, steady, controlled, present. What DeBoer whispered, it wasn't for the cameras. It wasn't in the post-game quotes. It didn't echo through the press conference. It happened deep in the locker room, before the tunnel, when helmets were still off and doubt lingered in the air. That whisper? It wasn't a tactic, it was a trigger. And whatever it was, it worked. Because Oklahoma didn't just lose the game, they lost control, lost composure, lost belief. From that moment forward, Alabama wasn't chasing, they were owning. Each possession cut into the Sooners' confidence. Each stop chipped away at the myth of Oklahoma's playoff destiny. By the time the clock ran out, Alabama hadn't just escaped. They had rewritten the story. This wasn't survival, it was transformation. This is no longer the Alabama team haunted by road ghosts. This is a unit that absorbs pressure and answers with clarity. And now they march into the Rose Bowl, not as underdogs, but as the team no one wants to face. Because now the country knows. When the tide looks dead, they're just getting focused. When the noise rises, they go silent. And when DeBoer whispers, they listen. So here's the question. Was this the defining moment of the DeBoer era? Or is it just the beginning of something even bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this with every Alabama fan you know. And don't forget to like and hit that bell. Because if this team keeps believing, we might be watching the rise of a new dynasty. Before we wrap up this incredible story, I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched our last video, dropped a like, left a comment, or simply shared it. You're the reason this community keeps growing. Every message, every opinion, every moment of passion about Alabama football fuels what we do here. Whether you agreed, challenged, or added something new, we saw you and we appreciate you. Let's keep this conversation going, because what's coming next? It's going to shake the tide again. Thanks for being part of the ride. Roll Tide, and I'll see you in the next one.